I recognize the Honourable Leader of the NDP.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to tell the Premier about Erin Vasseur, who has spent recent years in a state of fear, unsure whether her landlords would renew her fixed-term lease. Last year they renewed, but this new lease came in at 33% higher, and now her landlords are selling the building with its undervalued rents as a major selling point. Faced with losing her home, Erin says she now may have to leave Nova Scotia entirely. The Premier likes to say that he stands up for Nova Scotians, but how is he standing up for Erin? Not in the future, but right now.
I recognize the Honourable Premier.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We know the solution to the housing crisis is more housing. That's why we're moving forward with housing construction. Housing construction starts are up. That's why we did something like the MOUSE program, the More Opportunities for Skilled Trades, so we can have the people in the workforce to help build those homes. We know none of these things, we didn't break these things overnight. We're working hard to fix them, Madam Speaker. But the Liberals and the NDP, their record on housing is very clear. When the NDP was in government, and certainly those years under the Liberals, no money, no investment, no action, and even now today they stand shoulder to shoulder with those that are trying to block developments. The solution to this problem is more housing, and the members opposite can get on board with helping us get that done.
I recognize the Honourable Leader of the NDP with her first supplementary.
The Premier relies on his reinterpretation of the past and his casting forward to a beautiful future, and I am asking a question about the present. Erin is not alone in her struggle. Ian Henderson, another renter in our province, was forced to accept an illegal rent increase with 3 days' notice. Why? Because his landlord told him he'd be evicted if he didn't accept it. Now, Ian knows the rules, but he's afraid that if he reports significant maintenance issues to the tenancy board, his landlord won't just threaten eviction, but will end his lease before the board can do anything. In Ian's words, if we complain or request too much maintenance, we get kicked out. Will the Premier stand up for Ian today?
I recognize the Honourable Premier.
Thank you. There is a process in place, and I encourage all Nova Scotians who feel they're in a situation where that process is necessary, that they should apply to that process. It's there, it works. Or, you know, we'll continue to work on that. But if we step back, we need more housing in this province. That's why we're removing barriers to the construction of housing. That's why there's more houses being built right now than any time in the past decade. That's why we will continue to support those who want to help build a better Nova Scotia. There's a good future in this province. There are issues today, but we're working through them. There's the opportunities for the members opposite to get on board and support Nova Scotia.
I recognize the Honourable Leader for the NDP with her final supplementary.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. While we build housing, we need to protect the 300,000 Nova Scotians who are renters. Kelsey Bennett signed a fixed-term lease for her current apartment in 2021 with the promise that after the first year it could transition into a periodic lease. But despite multiple requests and 3 lease renewals, she is still on a fixed-term lease. Earlier this spring, she learned that her neighbors' fixed-term leases were not being renewed because their landlord can charge new tenants so much more. According to Kelsey, I now face the same anxiety, wondering if I will be forced out when my lease ends. Will the Premier stand up for Kelsey, Ian, Erin, and the hundreds of thousands of Nova Scotians who rent their homes and fix this now?
Order. I recognize the Honourable Premier.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And of course, the legislation that's being debated in this chamber right now with the rent cap, the extension of the rent cap and other modifications are meant to protect tenants, protect that relationship. And we'll continue to move those items forward, Madam Speaker.